What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got a quick little review for you of a really nice knife. This one is another one loaned to me courtesy of Mr. Eddie. Check him out on Instagram. It's Mr. Eddie_411. Thanks to people like him, I get to check out some super cool knives like this. And this is the Curtis knives, Curtis Custom Knives F3. Pretty cool knife, USA made, all custom knife. They come in various sizes. This one is the medium one. You can get, large, small, and I think even smaller than this. But yeah, pretty neat little knife. Gonna talk all about it. Go ahead and get specs out of the way first. Get a measurement on this bad boy here. Looking at right from the tip of the blade to the end of the handle, right at 7 5/8 inches. Overall blade length, you got 3 and right at 3 3/8, and just a hair under 3 inches on the cutting edge, maybe just a hair under 3 inches, like 2.9 inches, something like that. Thanks to that little forward choil there. We'll talk more about that here in just a second. All right, got the calibers. Make sure they're zeroed out. Spine of the blade, thickness 157 thousandths. Behind the edge, you're looking right at, let's see, right at 21 thousandths. So not too bad. Not especially thin and slicey, but not especially thick either, so not too bad there. A little over 1/2 inch for the handle. No issues there. Go ahead and put the calibers up. We'll do size comparisons. We'll get out the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. All right. I'll give you a good idea of the size of it right there. And you're looking at probably right in between the Para 2 and Para 3, closer to the Paramilitary 2. Put those up. We'll get 2 more of them out here. Get the Rat Brothers out here. All right. What we got? Ontario Rat Model 1 and Ontario Rat Model 2. Closer to the size, I would say, of the Rat Model 1, but right around a little more cutting edge than the Rat 2. Definitely more presence than both of them. It's got a broader blade. That definitely much more of a presence than those, but not so much as this one, I wouldn't say. Go butt to butt there. It's definitely shorter overall. Pivot to pivot, still shorter. That's the Cold Steel 8010, and that is the Demko Knives 8020.5. So definitely closer to the 8010 as far as presence goes. But as far as like overall length, you're not really too far away from the 20.5. All right, so actually a little more cutting edge, I guess, than 20.5. Kind of hard to compare because the 20.5, you get that straight line on that sheep's foot, whatever blade. But yeah, this is definitely what I would call it, like a medium size knife, almost a full size. Full size, I would say would be like 8 1/4, 8 or more inches overall, almost a full size, but not quite. Man, the action on this thing's really good. All right, let me get sidetracked here. I'm gonna get the scale out. Turn the scale on. Oh. If I can get her to focus here. All right, you got 6 inches there, or 6 ounces. 6.1. 6.1, so 6 to 6.1 ounces. Definitely way over the ounce and inch ratio for sure, 100%. Definitely gonna notice it in the pocket. Speaking of the pocket, get out the blue jeans here. So that's pretty much what you're looking at whenever you're carrying it. Really cool looking pocket clip. I like that. Kind of mimics their pivot a little bit there with that spot crosshair, whatever you want to call it. A little bit more sticking out than I would like, but you know, just about a thumb width sticking out right there for me. So, you know, definitely not deep carry, but not too much sticking out, I guess. And the clip works pretty good too. So go ahead and do a hardware check. That'll be the last thing as far as specs goes. Now, to do the pivot, all you really need is like a really wide flathead, maybe even a dime, or you don't necessarily need a you know, a super large butted up Phillips, you know, to take this apart. You can use a flathead, you know, sticking there or there, you know, like that. But you'll have to have two of them because it's not a captive pivot, which is kind of a bummer. You know, really cool looking pivot on it though. So we got the over travel stop. That's a T8. Really large, dull flathead on the pivots. Body screws, T8, T8, and pocket clip, T8. So that's definitely a good thing. Good on the pocket clip there. Not reversible, you know, right-handed tip up. So keep that in mind. Got a little bitty lanyard hole right there. Not too much of a, you know, it's not like really in the way or anything. So kind of minimalize that. That's a good thing. I like the ergonomics of this when you're choked back. I don't like them so much when you're choked up because you can put one finger here almost at the knuckle. You know, but with my hands, I have average size hands. I wear a large glove. You know, but I can't really, you know, I'm wanting to put like, you know, that, but I can't because of that, you know, the finger choil is not that big. So fairly comfortable choke back, you know, or choked up, but you had to kind of keep this like that, you know, so you can't fully grip it like you're wanting to, which is a shame. The jumping up top's fairly comfortable. This back spacer has some weird looking, almost like a zipper or something. You know, pretty neat though. Jimping right there. Really smooth action on this thing. It's running on bearings. This is the Spear Point Tanto, I think. Running on bearings, super smooth. Anodized titanium on the handles. Milled titanium pocket clip. And S45N on the blade. Very little billboard, and you got the F3 right there. Nothing really on the spine. And you flip it around, you got Curtis knives with a little crosshair right there. You know, pretty cool looking knife, really. As far as jimping goes, or internal milling, not jimping, not really that much there, but you know, compared to a lot of like Hinder, XM18, stuff like that, which this one is a good one to compare it to because it's kind of modeled after, or not modeled after that. You know, I'm not wanting to say it's a copy because this may have came out before the XM18. I'm not 100% sure on that, but very similar. Matter of fact, I can get out of XM18 right now. Let's see here. So that's your XM18. So you kind of see the lines, the grip lines, you know, are fairly the same. Big flipper, choil, you know, a little bit bigger on the Hinder, which I like. You know, it's just big enough to be able to get up on it like I'd like to. So that's a good thing, you know. Really wish that area was bigger here, and not quite as big of an area behind the pivot. You know, you got about that much or so less with this one, which doesn't seem like a lot, but you know, once you get past that flipper, you set them like that. Once you get past that flipper tab, that's how much you have to hold on to. So you've got about a half an index finger more to hold on to right there. See, when I'm choked back like this, you know, the weight in this is balanced about right there. So I'm almost off of it, you know, not all the way, you know, but close. So that is something to keep in mind. Ergonomic lines, like I said, they're pretty close, you know, look at them. Definitely two, you know, totally different knife designs and everything, but that's something to kind of keep in mind there. The action on this thing, as I said earlier, action's great. I really wish this flipper tab was like cut off a little bit or shaped different or something, because I mean this thing is just, you know, that is a huge flipper tab to have sticking out there in your pocket. I prefer the larger size knives, you know, probably overall maybe a ½ inch larger than this, but also in this variant, I don't know, or in this model, I don't know if I'd like the full size one, just because, you know, this one is quite prevalent. You know what I mean? Like it's big. You definitely got a chunker here when you got this. So things that are negative about it, I would have to say, you know, I wish the finger choil was bigger so it could be a full finger choil. The action's not really too bad, you know. The lockup on it, pretty solid. I've had no issues with the lockup. It's pretty centered, you know, dead centered, locked up like a bank vault. I just wish that you could have put your whole finger here, you know, when you're choked up on it. It could be, you know, of course it could be a little lighter because it is pretty heavy. And that flipper tab, man, that's one of the things that would kill this for me is, you know, I wish it wasn't as big. You know, it's like a really large flipper tab. Now, it does help, you know, whenever you're opening the knife up, and that is the only means of deployment. You know, there's no opening hole, no thumb studs, nothing like that. So that is a good thing. But, yeah. So overall, I would say it's a pretty good knife. You know, I don't know about $745 good. You know, I mean, there's a lot of other options out there, definitely, for that price point. So definitely something to keep in mind. Now, these are made small batch by one guy in his shop. You know, he uses machines and CNC machines and stuff like that to make them, but he does do everything himself. So that's something to keep in mind. USA made small batch knife for sure. A custom knife, really. So yeah, Curtis Custom Knives F3. Go check them out. I'm going to put the link down below. I really appreciate everyone watching the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.